Simsalabim, hocus pocus, bibbidi bobbidi boo. It's magic missile time! Classic, everyone knows this spell, or do they? You'll be surprised. Welcome to Pack Tactics. Magic missile, first level, action instantaneous. You create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within 120-foot range. A dart deals 1d4 plus 1 force damage to the target. The darts all strike simultaneously and can direct them to hit one creature or several. Upcast, the spell creates 1 more dart for each slot level above first. We're not done yet. Note, the darts all strike simultaneously. In damage rolls, it says if a spell or another effect deals damage to more than one target at the same time, roll the damage once for all of them. It's unclear what happens if you target only one creature, which you can do with Magic Missile. Let's read what Crawford says for extra measures. He confirms you roll 1 damage die, but you may also choose to roll each individual die if you wish. Basically, rules as written, you roll 1d4 plus 1 once and multiply it by 3 or whatever slot it is, but it's unclear if you do the same for focus fire. Me and many others assume it's the same thing. It's 100% to hit, so it's just to add the average of the die and you'll get 10.5 DPR with force damage. That's the best damage type in the game. Only 5 creatures in the books are immune to force damage and 9 with the resistance. I know there's new people watching me nowadays. Poor you. You're getting corrupted by a power gamer. And this is a basic spell a lot of new players look up. So to give you an idea what good damage is for a full caster, this is above average with a first level slot when you pick it up. But upcasting it isn't worth it, simply because you have better spells like Web or Shatter. Area of effect stuff is really your main specialty as a full caster. To give you an idea what a second level Shatter does, it's 10.46 average damage at a 10-foot radius. It's very easy to get 3 creatures in that radius, and if you do, that's 31.38 average damage. So as you can see, that second level Magic Missile simply can't compete with this in the damage factor, even though it's 100% to hit. Shatter in that calculation assumes 55% chance of the creatures failing the save, by the way. That half damage does majority of the work. But there might be cases here and there where Missile is the move to make anyways. One of these examples, although not a very strong case, is versus spellcasters. Sort of. Some casters have shield spell. It says you take no damage from Magic Missile. This is a reaction spell. You have to watch out for that. Good news, rules as written wise, a lot of spellcasters in the official books don't have shield spell, like an Archmage of all things don't have this spell. Bad news is I think majority of DMs put shields on their casters. Still though, this doesn't apply to all caster creatures. Usually the ones who clearly have, for example, an arcane spell list will have it. Like, I can guarantee you that the Archmage will have shield, even though rules as written they don't have it. A priest who has a completely different spell list can't get the shield spell. Well, I mean, they can. The DM can do what they want. But they tend to stay consistent with different types of spell lists and what they have access to. A sign where Magic Missile might be a good idea of a cast is when the enemy caster is concentrating on something dangerous, like for example Spirit Guardians. You know that spell isn't on the arcane spell list, so this enemy doesn't have shield. Cast Magic Missile at first level. All the darts hit automatically. They take their damage and they have to roll 3 concentration checks due to each individual darts going pew pew pew. Enemy casters usually have horrible constitution modifiers, so chances are very high they're gonna lose that concentration. I don't know the average though, by the way. But even versus these arcane casters, Magic Missile might be the right move, even though you know for a fact they have the shield spell. Like, if this enemy already used their reaction on another spell like Absorb Element, Silvery Barbs, or Counter counterspell. That then gives you the safe go-ahead to cast Magic Missile to drop their concentration or kill them straight out. By the way, quick note, in case you forget, shield lasts a whole round, not a turn, so pay extra attention. That's the basics of Magic Missile so far, a good spell that quickly turns into an okay-ish or bad spell. Nothing flashy on the surface. You always have better things to cast in general. Anyways, we need some dice to kill people! This video is sponsored by Only Crits, where you can get some shiny dice that will destroy your foes. They have a vast selection of dice that comes in bags and containers. Look, they even have dice that come in scrolls. And as you guys know, scrolls can't be counterspelled. Look at these fine weapons of mass destruction. Transparent duckies! A whole spell caught these cute duckies and will aid you in battles. The perfect tool for captured animals.
Kobold, you have to stop playing with that spell all the time! You're the only person who thinks this is funny!
Okay, let's actually cast Magic Missile using Only Crits dice then. They gave me 7 D4s to play with. That's a 5th level spell slot. I cast Magic Missile on you, Gator!
What? Kobold, I'm out of spell slots, don't do it!
Well, that's what you get for stealing my money. Okay. Ah, 27 damage.
Kobold, that's all my hit points!
Ah, so you're saying, how do I want to do this? I make you fly across the room from all the magic missiles. Ow! As you can see, these dice are very effective. I highly recommend you check them out, and if you do, please press the link in the description. That helps me too. onlycrits.com/packtactics. And if you like what you see, get some shinies yourself. Use the coupon code PACKTACTICS, all in one word, for 12% discount. Not only do you get the dice, but you also get a free adventure they made called the Drought Maker. That's a sweet deal. Back to the video. Tech. If your DM goes by raw, then this is relevant information for you. You can make Magic Missile into one of the best blast spells in the game with a classic build. 10 levels in Evoker Wizard, 1 level in Hexblade. The 10th level feature for Evoker, called Empowered Evocation, says you add your intelligence modifier to 1 damage roll of any wizard evocation spell you cast. Your intelligence is most likely 20 at these levels, so that's a +5 to Magic Missile. Let's cast it as a 1st level slot. So 8.5, then multiply it by 3 and you'll get 25.5 DPR. That's more damage than a 5th level Magic Missile cast normally. Here's everything. As you can see, upcasting is worth it now versus single targets. We might as well talk about that real quick. Don't spread the damage with Magic Missile. Focus fire with it instead. If you want to do AoE, use a better spell for it, like Fireball for example. Hitting 2 targets is 54.44 average damage. Now for Hexblade levels. Let me be 100% clear. Magic Missile doesn't work with Hex. Some people make that confusion. Hex says you deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever you hit it with an attack. Magic Missile is not an attack. You just deal damage, so forget about Hex. Hex is a trap. Hex sucks. But Hexblade's Curse works with Magic Missile. First bullet point says you gain a bonus to damage rolls against the cursed targets. The bonus equals to your proficiency bonus. By the time this build comes online, your proficiency bonus is 4. Stack that with the Empowered Evocation and that 1st level spell slot, and you get 12.5. Then multiply it by 3 and you get 37.5 DPR. That's basically 1 point below the 17th level Warlock baseline. That's awesome. Here's what the damage looks like upcast. The downside to Hexblade's Curse is it's a one-time use and then you need to finish a short or long rest. Normally features like that aren't that good, but this is a 1st level dip that also gives you Hex Warrior, where you gain medium armor and shield proficiency. So that's a big deal. Lastly, once you hit 17th level, your proficiency bonus is then 6. So then your Magic Missile does even more damage.
But Kobold, how are you gonna justify the Hexblade level as a wizard?
Gator, I went to the forest yesterday and I found this stick right here. It asked me if I wanted to be friends and I said yes. And from there, it gave me Hexblade powers. It only talks to me when no one is looking or listening. Flavor is free, by the way. My patron can be anything. This part of Hexblade is just flavor text, not rules.
Oh,
Cool. Okay, bye-bye. Making a backstory for Hexblade is super easy. Just think of any object and say it talk to you, right? And then you basically have the backstory. Or you could just be like, oh, I have amnesia. Then the DM has to think of things. Anyways, there's more combinations you can build to improve the magic missile further, like 2 levels in fighter for action surge, but they're not worth it. I don't recommend it. Remember, you're a 10th level wizard. Go after the god spells. Screw action surge. Get simulacrum and force cage and stuff instead. Don't waste your time improving magic missile from here, and don't heavily rely on it. It's awesome, don't get me wrong, there's tons of cases now where this is the right move to make, but mass shutdown is still just better. Casting Wall of Force is a better spell, for example, so be careful with that build. It can be a trap that makes you greedy to single target damage. Always remember, Mass Shutdown is the king of the game. Last topic, I have to mention how awesome Wand of Magic Missile is. It's an uncommon magic item that requires no attunement, and you don't need a spellcasting feature to use it. So anyone can use it, including NPCs. Arm a kobold or a commoner with it. Arm you're familiar with it. This wand has 7 charges. While holding it, you can use your action to extend 1 or more of its charges to cast Magic Missile from it. For 1 charge, you can cast the first level version of the spell. You can increase the spell slot level by 1 for each additional charge you extend. The wand regains 1d6 plus 1 extended charges daily at dawn. If you extend the last charge, there's a 5% chance that the wand will break. If you do extend all the charges at once, that's a 7th level magic missile slot. 31.5 DPR. Just like that. They're the submachine guns of 5e, so if there's a magic shop in your game, for example, I recommend buying many of these wands and arming NPCs you're familiar, or even martial friends with them. Those melee marshals desperately need this in order to fight flying creatures. I think you get the point. Conclusion, Magic Missile is good. Optimizing Magic Missile through Evoker is awesome, but can be a trap as in greedy for damage, when you could be casting something that's better. Wand of Magic Missiles is the best, and should be sought out by absolutely everyone. End of video. I recommend you buy some cool dice from Only Crits. I also hope to earn your subscription. Thank you for watching. Bye bye!